So our guy, Jamal Bryant, has a podcast, and I can't remember the lady's name, but they were talking about marriage and divorce and single women. I want you guys to listen to this and see what you
And I just got to a place, Lord, I know you sent him. So whatever I need to do to protect our unity, I will.
30% of black divorces, 30% of all divorces are black people.
Yes.
16% are Latino. This is the largest amount of single black women post-slavery. And so here's the disconnect nobody's talking about. The largest demographic of those who are single are educated, high-achieving black women. And so I know you done found Chef Boyardee, but everybody else is at Cookout and Chick-fil-A drive-thru. I want you to say a word to black women who are single and did, here it is, everything the church told them to do. They went and got degrees. They are walking every day. They drinking water. They done pull pork it out of their diet. They saving. They go to midweek Bible study. It's still not happening.
All right, so our favorite pastor, Jamal Bryant. What do you think about what he said?
Not the Cookout Chick-fil-A drive-through. Dang. Wow, that's a hot topic, man. I ain't gonna front, bro. I was praying about this morning. I think, I really think the black church has maybe hurt black women subconsciously.
Yikes.
I think that.
Elaborate.
I think that the focus, instead of the focus becoming, if your desire is to be single, then obey the scriptures where it talks about, my singleness is my gift and I live in it, and I would rather be single than married, right? But if a woman's desire is to be married, then why don't you help her, prepare her for marriage? Same thing with a man. So for anybody like, what about the men? No, same thing for men. If you're a man and you want to be married, then I think the church should help you become a husband. Men should a husband should be like married men should show single men how to become husbands, and vice versa. I don't think when I look at the black church, sometimes I look at it from a standpoint of, it looks like your season, your time. Get away from your haters. It doesn't help. It almost feeds the pride and ego of a woman. So now, if a man comes to her that is a godly man, that's a man of substance, a man of things, she may not look at that. She may look at other stuff, and vice versa. Surfacey stuff, and vice versa. If it's a godly woman out there and a man who is getting his ego and stuff fed, may look past her because she ain't got this, she ain't got that.
Nails,
So, but the reason why I said that about women is because there's more black women in the black church than men at times.
Well, that's where I was gonna go. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, to add to that, I would say that I think the church, the issues with that in the church, is just like the tip of the iceberg. I feel like it goes deeper into our evolution as a black people and how the agenda has always been to break up the family or to take the power away from the black man. Because we dealt that's a real thing too. We're Christians, but that's a real thing. Even in some Christian communities, there's weird stuff like that still happening. So if you think about the destruction of the black man, what does that do to the families and the generations on how a healthy marriage should look like? Or different things that, the degradation of the black woman. All of those types of things, to where now you got generational mindsets. Now you have media dumping more trash down your throat and what you should be or how you should be. And then you also have just the constant attacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and I'm saying deeper because obviously the surface level things we got to deal with. But, you know, the black woman, why does she have to be this overachiever, highly educated woman? Like, why? Like, what led to that being a driving force, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we got to now be strong. Then it's like, okay, well, now we got to be equal, or we got to fight harder. Wow. And then, I mean, I'm just throwing a bunch of stuff in the pot.
I think it all comes back to my point. The reason I think you're seeing a rise in women, you know, being go-getters and career women and all that, is because they're coming from a lineage where their parents may have, their moms may have been hurt by a man.
Yeah.
And it's you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't depend on anybody else.
Yeah.
So you go and get it yourself.
Yeah.
So it's still a result of men who aren't stepping up and being who they're supposed to be, which is a result of a bunch of other historical things we don't have to get into. But right now, the problem is, honestly, you go into a church, you'll see 10 women serving, and you may see 10 men, but 9 of them are married.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, what options do they have?
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of single guys right now. Do you? Mm-hmm. I got maybe 5 that I can recommend.
Yeah.
But like, what do you? I know about 50 young ladies that are like, I'm ready. I'm waiting on a husband. Yeah. So what are they supposed to do?
Do you think this is gonna sound bad? Do you think the fantasy of black love is something too? Whereas in the kingdom is like kingdom love.
So you're saying because they're not willing to date outside their races?
Yeah. No. I'm just saying. Do you think like if somebody's like, if you say you go to your church, right, and let's say you got some women there that are single, and then you have some other people there that are single as well, but they're white, they're Hispanic, they're Indian, and they love the Lord, but they may be like, Sean, they're cool, but I really want a black dude. How would you?
I don't see that.
I'm just saying that. But I've heard that before, so that's not like something I've never heard. But how would you say that for somebody for some women that's like, Sean, I want a black man that love the Lord?
But it all goes back to the list, right? There's that could be on your list. There could be height requirements, which is on most people I know's list. There's usually some sort of color requirement. There's usually some sort of like muscle mass requirement. There's usually some sort of bank account requirement.
Yeah.
So you have to wrestle with that on your own and make sure your list is reflective of what God actually wants for you versus what you want for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's understandable that you would want something familiar to you.
Yeah.
But you do have to be open beyond your race. There's some new challenges that come with that, but you do have to be open to that. I don't think that is the fix of their problem.
No. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that's the fix. I'm just saying that, that if you're saying let's say you go to a predominantly black church, then that wouldn't be your issue because you're like,
you don't see nobody
else. But I do ask that question because for black dudes, they like dating anybody. So that's
why is that? Why can't you can you name 10 black single guys that you would recommend? Not just black single guys, but like that you're like, oh, that's a good choice for you.
I know a lot of married people. Yeah, so I'm like,
but that's been since I was 19.
Really?
It's not like it's just because I'm older. Name me 10.
I mean, but for me, I would say this: even when I was single, or I knew of single men, some of them wasn't like I wouldn't want to put no woman's heart in that situation.
People you would recommend.
Yeah, that would have been hard.
So why? Again, maybe it's our fault. Like that's part of our mission is to mentor up strong young men.
But this has to be attractive to men. You know what I'm saying? Like this has to be attractive. The gospel for us was attractive because either we were raised, like we had people that sat us down and talked about the Bible and we was like, I want to learn more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or we had somebody witness to us and go, this is real. I want to live my life. My lifestyle is going to be around the love of Jesus and the word of God, right? Mm-hmm. So if that's not appealing to men out here, they may be like questioning it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure right now we can go on our phones on IG and scroll, and you're going to bump into a video where somebody go, y'all still believe the white man God? Like the white, you know what I mean? So you're still going to deal with those type of things. I was gonna say something else too, real quick. Do you think another problem for some men is, what if they think, like, some single men, like, man, all these ladies really just love our pastor and they want somebody like our pastor?
No, that's Umar. Nobody thinks about that.
I mean, I'm just asking. Some people may.
Nobody thinks about that. That's so stupid. I hate what you just said, because the fact that I got to think about what's going to be attractive to a guy, which usually means, how do I get more money? How do I become successful?
Yeah.
I don't care if that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? If that's appealing to you, then kick rocks. Like, I shouldn't have to convince
But that's
you.
in the church, though. That type of man is, it's everywhere. But in the black church, a lot of guys are on that.
Well, then go away. Like, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about guys who can look at Jesus and say, I want to be like him.
Yeah.
Where are they? I don't want to have to trick you into feeling that. Where are the guys that are like, I'm going to be like Jesus?
They may be in the
no
background.
matter what.
They may be like how we were in the background.
And young ladies, this is where it becomes your fault. There are a lot of young men who are sitting there like, what are y'all talking about? I'm right here.
Yeah.
and
y'all looking like, nah.
That's not what I asked for.
It's the agenda, man.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a huge agenda set. It's like to be a cool black, at one point, maybe we're coming out of it now, but to be a cool black guy, you know what I'm saying, at one point was you got to be a thug, a gangster.
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
it was pushed.
Yeah.
But there's a lifestyle that comes with that. You know, once you stop pressing play on the record, like, you got to live that out. And then I think that also became appealing to black women, because it was just,
Power,
confidence, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then now there's like this flow of hurt and pain, because it's not the true design on how you should be loved and all that.
But here's the challenge is, for the women who are hurt and in pain from those kind of dudes, what they want is for that dude to get saved. They don't want the guy who was already not that dude. Yeah. That's where they
want him to be there and then be saved.
Yeah.
So like,
I still want the edge.
I still want that.
I still want the same kind of he might hurt me feel, but I want him to now be a servant of Jesus instead of the guy who's always been a servant of Jesus that's been sitting right next to you.
But they can say
a good guy.
They can say the opposite of that, Sean. They can say that
true.
for women.
Guys,
some women be like, some guys that like us, they'll be like, I want you, but y'all looking past the 10 o'clock. Y'all looking to the 10 o'clock girl.
The 10 o'clock girl.
Lady
of the night.
It's definitely a problem. It's definitely a problem both ways, where, there's young ladies who've been faithful, serving, right next to you the whole time, and you like, but she don't look like this one.
Yeah. And that's the problem with guys. I would say problem with guys that are the nice, kind guys. Sometimes their idea of beauty is,
the fake stuff.
The fake stuff, yeah.
And
they want to save City Girl.
Yeah, but you don't want. I'm gonna just tell you, you don't actually want that. You don't actually want the fake stuff. What you want is for somebody who to be genuinely beautiful. You don't want somebody who has to put it on to be beautiful. So you have to have some sort of imagination, because these young ladies who are being faithful, they are just as or better, more beautiful than these young ladies you're staring at. It's just that they have realized that is not who I want to be. Yeah. You should have some sort of imagination to realize that, just because somebody ain't wearing the tightest thing possible, they don't have a cake full of makeup,
or cleavage,
it's showing you, like, making it obvious. You can have people are just beautiful, period. You should be able to recognize that without them having to be like, see.
But unfortunately our culture is not that, because I think men are of course visual, but men also, if you go to a man, you say, yo, who the most beautiful woman in the world? Majority of times, there's going to name somebody who is a revealing person. They're going to say somebody who's modest or cover, you know what I mean? So it's just based off what you see every day and honestly what you're lusting after. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? Like, what are you watching that makes your perception of a woman to say that's beauty?
Yeah.